So in this video I'm talking about the most common mistake beginners make when trying to throw a punch. And the reason why this is the worst mistake is because it kind of involves most of the beginner mistakes anyway. If you could rectify this one mistake, you will find a lot of your other mistakes will end up getting so much more better and you won't make them as much. So let's talk about some of them mistakes. So, you got holding your breath when trying to punch. Not exhaling, which it should be like that. One of the other ones, winding up too much, pulling back too far when trying to throw a punch. Other ones is, as throwing a punch, not bringing your hand straight back to your face, so you're looping down and then you're bringing your hand back up to your face. So, the problem is, a lot of people are trying to hit too hard when they begin. They're always trying to go for power. You'll find as soon as you get a newbie, when I'm down my gym and I get a new client come in and I'm holding pads for them, as soon as I start saying like jab or anything like that, the first thing they're trying to do is hit it as hard as they can, and sometimes they make all these mistakes. They hold the breath, they cock back, they hit, they bring it back down. Even once you start getting them to do a bit more technique, as soon as you start saying to them hit it harder, the technique will start going out the window and they start pulling up and trying to do different things. Now, as soon as you say to someone, forget about the power, stop trying to hit hard. For example, for the jab, you're only allowed to hit hard in this range of movement. The hardest you can hit in that range of movement is the hardest you can hit, and that's it. You can't break the rules. The rules are, you can't cock your hand back, you can't sort of try to hold your breath and lean into it, you can't do anything like that. Your rules are from here, stepping in, throwing the jab, again like I said, not reaching out, anything like that, throwing the arm out, keeping back. And when you're telling them not to worry about power, they often keep their other hand out, because that was another mistake I forgot to mention, is dropping your other hand when throwing a punch. But again, it's all to do with they're trying to get too much power because they're not thinking, because they're dropping his hand to lean in to throw with power. Same with the hook even. When they're throwing the hook, they're winding up and they may drop this hand to throw the hook in because they want to spin round. If you move this arm round and throw it as you throw the hook, you could potentially get more power. But you obviously can't do that in a fight because you're leaving yourself open. And like I said, when they're new and they're thinking of fighting and thinking of hitting, they're always thinking of power. I've even asked people before, when they're trying to punch, I said, like, what's the most important thing? And they're saying they're trying to hit with power. So, as soon as you can get that thought of power out of their brain, it ends up piecing together and working a lot better for them. Just tell them, or if you're having this problem as well, if you've got bad habits maybe it's because you're thinking of too much power. But just tell them, don't worry about power, just think about what you've got to do. Keeping your defence up, hitting out and bringing that hand straight back. And don't worry about power. And then, after that, tell them to worry about speed. So just touch as quick as you can and back in. And you will find, the quicker you try and touch something and bring your hand back, you're going to get a bit of power anyway. So the quicker you're trying to touch, bang, bang, to bring back in, you're naturally going to get a bit of power anyway. And then once you've got that, by then they're at the stage where they're going to hopefully start to get quite good anyway, and then they can just add that extra bit of FUD if they want. But, like I said, this is mainly for beginners, or if you're a coach training a beginner, it's one thing that you can maybe, if you don't already know about it, you can maybe say to them and mention to them, is to just don't worry about the power. Once they forget about trying to hit with power all the time and working on more thinking about their technique and thinking about other things rather than power, and power last, then the process becomes a lot better rather than power first and then worrying about technique. Power's got to be the last thing you've got to think about. Anyway, I hope this video has helped some people. If you want to see other different punches you can do for MMA, check out this video over here where I talk about 50 different punches you can use for MMA. Go check that one out.